Hello again. The 2017 preferential procurement regulations are back in force until January 2023. The Constitutional Court has told Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana that he should not have stopped government procurement. Well, what does this all mean going forward? Let's discuss this now with Molefe, Fani, the Acting Chief Procurement Officer at National Treasury. Mr. Fani, good afternoon. Thank you very much for your time. I see the Constitutional Court said that there was a misunderstanding of its earlier order. What does this all mean?
What this all means is that the Constitutional Court, in its clarification, indicates that we should have carried on with the judgment or the order that was issued by the Supreme Court of Appeals, which gave us the grace period of 12 months to fix the areas that we should have fixed. What we had found at that time was that the Constitutional Court judgment was not explicit with regards to that grace period. Hence, we approached them again for clarification, and indeed, they have provided that clarification that the Finance Minister has the opportunity to fix the blind spot or the grey areas that were identified in the Supreme Court of Appeals.
Now, this matter first came up to court because there was a challenge by Agribusiness against these new preferential procurement regulations, which were going to favour BE companies or black empowered companies. Are those now going to be in place until January next year?
Certainly. The suspension period that we have would definitely reinstate the invalid regulations or the regulations that were declared invalid by the Supreme Court of Appeals. These were specifically the Regulation 3B, Regulation 4 and Regulation 9. What happened with the Supreme Court was that because of the interconnectiveness or interconnectivity of these regulations, instead of just singling out 3B, 4 and 9, the court found that the whole suit should have been declared invalid so that the Minister of Finance can go and fix the regulations.
So the Constitutional Court has said, hold on, go back to the 2017 preferential procurement regulations that had been sort of put under question or declared invalid by the Supreme Court of Appeals post that Agribusiness application. So now you're going to continue until January next year. So what are they? Just give us a high-level view of these regulations. How do they work? Now, you're a black-owned business. You want to apply for a government tender. What must you take into consideration? Or you're a business and you want to apply for a government tender. What will these procurement regulations dictate now?
The suite of regulations that we have, the 2017 suite of regulations, covers all areas of procurement. It's not just only on preference. Even though the regulations that were challenged were 3B, 4 and 9, which specifically talk about transformation and preference. If I were to single those out specifically, preference was given to a certain type of business through what we call government transformation processes. We have had an application of our BBBE Act when we took this regulation into cognizance. Basically, what government wants to see happening is to see the previously disadvantaged suppliers or sectors of government being fairly favored in order for them to take up opportunities in the supply sector of the country. So there's a suite of them, but specific ones that dealt with preference or pre-qualifications are the ones that were in question. And indeed, we will utilize them until such time the minister has put together the new regulations which are in line with his power, or until the organs of states also put together the procurement policies which would speak to these regulations as the court has instructed.
January is the deadline. Do you think you'll be ready before then?
We have already issued regulations in line with preferential procurement act which the Minister of Finance has authority over. Those we will carry on as scheduled, and we will issue them. We would hope that before the end of the year, we would then have complied 100% to the Constitutional Court ruling, and government would be working towards what is considered constitutional by the Constitutional Court.
Thank you very much, Molefe Fani, the Acting Chief Procurement Officer at National Treasury.